Aloha. I'm Jason Schwartz. You know me probably. This is Marie Minichino.
Hello, aloha. How are you guys doing today?
Now, many of you say, I think I've seen her around. Marie, you are living in Kihei, and what seat are you running for?
I'm running for State Representative Kihei Wailea.
State House of Representatives,
Yes.
Kihei Wailea District.
11.
You see, we all have districts. Now, in your district, there's a young kid, I think. His name is
Kaniela Ing.
Ing. Okay, so he ran one term. I never did an interview of him, but I've seen him for a couple of years. You decided to run. What motivated you to run?
Well, I actually did start to run when Kaniela was running, but I had issues with my son, and I thought it would be best to postpone it until such time I could really devote myself to doing a good job for the people. And so I did vote for Kaniela, a young guy, and I thought that it would be great to have somebody young to step forward and represent Kihei Wailea. However, I've been disappointed by his performance and what he was able to get for our community. And I do feel we need someone stronger-willed who can do more for the community for some of the things that are necessary to make the people in Kihei Wailea be able to work and live here and not be on vacation.
Want to pick a couple of things specifically that you want to address, or would you? I'd rather share. I was thinking to let them know more about you, because I know that from what I know about you, you are a no-nonsense gal, and you like to get on things and ride them to their conclusion.
Well, I do like to do that. You're absolutely right. Well, I was raised on the East Coast, and I'm a pharmacist, educated. I'm licensed both here in Hawaii and in California. I was licensed in Connecticut, but I kind of let that go because you can't really keep up with a million licenses, can you? I also have a license as a realtor and a mortgage broker, but I let them go inactive while I'm trying to work on this campaign and really focus on the needs of the people. And going forward, what are some of the things that are the issues? I am a single mom. I was a single mom for 14 years here on Maui, 12 of those in Kihei, and we've been waiting for a high school. And I was promised that we would have a high school, and my son has been here, graduated, and is in college, and we still don't have a high school in Kihei, and it's absurd. Really, it's absurd.
Is Kihei Charter School a separate deal?
Kihei Charter is a separate deal. My son did attend there for 1 year. It has its own gifts for the independent child that is able to do self-study and with minimal kind of supervision. And unfortunately, my child was not one of those children. And he needed a little bit more than they were able to give. Well, he did end up graduating in his senior year from there after spending most of his time at St. Anthony's in Wailuku.
I see. Oh, great.
But here you have people from here that have to drive their children either to Maui High or Baldwin or St. Anthony's, or even some people take their children up to Seabury.
Is there a bus system for that?
There is a bus system, but when you get children up really early and you drag them over, 35, 40 minutes, they're not that happy when they get to school, and they're not willing to do the type of learning that they need to do.
So a lot of moms do carpooling with the kids.
A lot of moms do the carpooling, yeah.
And a lot of distance.
A lot of distance. And we should be able to have a good high school for our children here. It's very important.
Do you have any experience at legislative kind of stuff?
I primarily have been working with people who've lost their homes in foreclosure, and I've gotten involved in the legislation as far as pushing for certain laws to be changed and things like that. On the mainland, people made strides. A lot of the mortgage foreclosures were phony, as you know, and were just pushed through by the big banks. I was able to talk to the vice president of IndyMac Bank, who, when I was helping people with loan modifications, I asked her why there were so many foreclosures in Hawaii. We're such a small little state, yet we were number 5 after Florida, Arizona, California, and Nevada. And she said it was because the people here in Hawaii are compliant. In other words, if the bank sends you a letter and tells you to get out of your house, they're going to get out of your house. And they're not going to fight, even though they have a sense of that there's something not quite right with how the process is going. But they don't know where to turn to. There was no one here helping the people to fight back. And a lot of them would say to me, well, Maria, I can't really fight. I got a family to run. I've got to make a living. I'm trying to make my payments. I can't get a loan modification, what can I do? So I did call Washington. I was able to get 30 loan modifications through IndyMac. Unfortunately, after that, they just stopped giving them to me. They would not work with us, and they basically called me a troublemaker. And I have suffered both on the internet and myself for fighting for other people, and I was considered a troublemaker. And honestly, I think that a lot of laws need to be changed. If you notice, there's still more foreclosures on the newspaper every day. There's 3 or 4 foreclosures. It's not stopping. Citibank, I just heard this morning, was fined an astronomical amount in the billions for the things that they have done that were illegal. And I had a Citibank mortgage, which then became the next.
Me too. We've all been victimized, and now there's no one to redeem our challenges. I lost. You don't want to know from it.
Yeah, we all have lost,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, that's just what happened. But I think that we can still make strides, change laws,
Yeah.
and do other things. Besides the Kihei High School, we have an issue with low-income housing at Kihei.
Big
A
time.
big-time issue. We have a senior low-income housing. It's got a 4 to 6 year waiting list, and
What
you
is
have to be 62 just to apply. Well, here you are, and you're not 62, and you're wondering what you're going to do, and you get on a list, and it's 4 to 6 years. And you kind of feel like that's not a solution for you.
I know people living in their cars,
That's a horrible
some for
thing.
2 years, never mind the system of how they deal with homelessness here, which is a separate deal. But these waiting lists, 2 and 4 to 6 years,
Yes.
is crazy. So you join at 62, you don't know what the future is coming. Now you're having a need for it, but you don't know if you're going to be able to have housing.
What
Do you have any
bas-
solution? for
I
what
do
to
have
do?
a solution for that. I would like to do private funding for low-income housing, seniors, vets, and also for homeless. The homeless would have to be on like a work study, similar to what we did when we were in college. We would have the people that could work in that situation. They would be able to then pay their rent by either helping with a group farm or doing cleanup in maintenance, and we'd have a schedule or something like that. The seniors would pay on a cost basis and/or that would be acceptable to them. The low income and the veterans would also have that option depending on their income, and we would do it all privately funded, so there wouldn't be any outside interference as far as how we have to do
Privately
everything like that.
funded. You have sources that are open and interested in this?
We do have sources that are open and interested in it, and I would also be contributing through a private placement situation. In a private placement, people put up X amount of dollars, they let the bank borrow the money, and for that the bank pays them on a weekly basis. And once we had enough money, we would then purchase the land and then immediately start building and get that set up as soon as possible. I haven't really delved into it as far as looking for the land yet, simply because the funding isn't here. And I've been working on it for 4 years, and I feel we're very, very close. Very, very close.
We're going to take a little lunch break here at Rita's, and we're going to come back with some more questions in a minute.
Thank you so much.
We're back.
Oh, wow.
Lunch here at Rita's, I must tell you, very, very good.
I really enjoyed it, and I hope you all join us on the 30th for our fundraiser here from 4 to
30th
6:30.
of July. Oh, you're here?
Right here in Rita's, and it's only $5 and a can of food for the food bank. How nice.
Yeah, the food bank. Food. Food, air, water. We've got quite a place here. You think we're taking advantage of what we need to be self-sustainable?
I think that there's always room for improvement, although I love the farmers markets and everything. I think that our quality of food needs to be improved. Our air quality, with the smokestacks and everything like that, although they claim it doesn't bother us, it does bother us. And the cane burning, I've been told, and I've been doing some research on it, there are other ways they can eliminate the cane without cane burning, and I think we should look into it.
2 decades and a half we've been telling them. I think they're going to do it when it doesn't make financial sense.
Or when health
So you got
freezes
to tell
over.
the government to stop. Can you say the word freeze?
I don't know. Could you say freeze? I guess it makes us more human anyway.
No. You're in an interesting place because you're representing Kihei and Wailea. Are there any things in Kihei and Wailea that you think specifically? I mean, I know I like to talk about homelessness because it's so apparent.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that the planning that's gone on in Kihei, they've tried the community plan, all kinds of meetings, and then it becomes an abortion.
It really does. Basically, I've been told is that, Kihei Wailea doesn't vote. And because Kihei and Wailea doesn't vote, then we're going to have to get our funding through private funding. And that's kind of my focus, because I've already been told, forget about getting funding for Kihei Wailea, because we're here on vacation, and they don't appreciate the fact that there are people who live and work here and try to survive here. And it's not an easy thing to do. The Kihei High School is a very big thing of mine. I want to get funding for that. I want it to be an entrepreneurial school, a school that we can teach our children to become entrepreneurs, not just in real estate, but in any facet that they want. Focus on engineering and mathematics, which are the most wanted, most sought after for jobs and also for creative things. So I think that's very, very good. Another thing that we need to do is take care of our people who have been affected in some way, either by cancer or some kind of an illness, that they're not able to feel like they're getting adequate treatment here. And I'm talking about alternative treatment. I know two people who, one flew to Mexico and one flew to Switzerland with a terminal illness and died on the way. And it was because the treatment that they sought was not FDA approved.
Right.
And so what I'd like to do is follow Arizona and Colorado and Oregon on the right to try bill, whereby someone with an illness that is severe enough can bring anything that they want to this country, to Maui or Hawaii, and treat themselves in the manner that they feel would best help them.
Now, I think what also adds to the credibility of your stance on this is you're a pharmacist. You've been dealing with people and their illnesses and all the things they've been trying for a lot of years. And so your experience in that area, I think, adds to your credibility.
I think it does too. And the longer I am a pharmacist, the more I've seen miracles happen when people boost their immune system and are able to believe in themselves and believe in that they can beat their illness. But they can't do it if they're held back by FDA regulations. So I think that homeopathic and alternative medicine that they want to try, whether it's a device or an actual medication, they should be allowed to do that. If you want to sweeten it by calling it health tourism, I don't have a problem with that. Charge $100 for a fee for someone to set up health tourism in their home, where they would provide quiet place with a room and a bath where someone could come here, treat themselves quietly with whatever it is that they have, if they feel that it's necessary, it's going to make them better. And miracles do happen, and they will.
How old do you think this woman is? I mean, I don't want to give her age, but let's say she's decades old. And she's an anti-aging specialist, which is why she looks so young. She's actually very experienced. We're almost contemporaries. You can tell I'm not 20.
We're almost the same age, huh?
That's right. No, really, I must commend you, You look young, and I don't want your young look to connote lack of experience, because I know you have a lot of experience. Your background in the mortgage business always intrigued me, because you've helped a lot of people. You have helped a lot of people.
I have helped people to turn around their mortgages and either refi or get a loan modification. Unfortunately, the big banks are against us here on Maui, and we were like a big bullseye for them. We were number 5 in foreclosures, and I helped as many people as I could with loan modifications, and then we're now back into another foreclosure crisis. You see 3 or 4 foreclosures in the paper every other day, and
It's such a manipulated market. I mean, there's the shadow inventory. I've seen things that have been off the market for years.
oh no, there's empty houses in my neighborhood in Pilani, and you go, well, what happened to those people? Oh, they just picked up and left. And there was one house like right across from Pilani 3, and it's still owned by the lady theoretically, but if you talk to the neighbors, it's a fight between Bank of America and Fannie Mae. So the house is boarded up and it's a blight. And you know, there's no reason when we have people that need a place to live. Why can't we work with some of this inventory and help provide cooperative housing? I've always said that cooperative housing could be very interesting.
And equity sharing, put someone in, and as they're responsible in their payments, why couldn't they become owners? Why can't we turn this around? I think we can.
I think we can.
I'm sort of sick of the rich getting richer. Not that there's any problem with getting richer. It's just there's so many people struggling right now. It takes people that have to realize they have enough. And when is enough enough,
Yeah, when is enough?
What are you going to do with 19 houses and all that extra money?
You really?
Share it. There are a lot of people that really could use help now.
I think there are a lot of people that could use help, and you have the right attitude.
Kihei, and what I've always heard from people that are working in the State House, it takes a lot of cooperation. Have you been out on this campaign trail? Do you see a lot of cooperation happening even on your campaign trail? You see an interest? Do candidates talk out there?
Do they talk? I've talked to several of the candidates. I feel like I've really thought out what I want, when the direction I want to go, and I feel that some of the other candidates, although they have good intentions, have not really thought out the direction that they want to go. I mean,
this GMO thing. I know a lot of people that understand it know it's not some fringe movement. It takes a lot of people registered to get this thing on the ballot, so it's not a
8,000,
fringe.
wasn't it 8,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was quite a few people.
So I've seen commercials that are going to come out that talk about it. This is a small fringe group. Not so small, not so fringe. And that's why I guess they're with commercials like they are. But
it's too bad.
besides that, these candidates that have come out don't have a lot of things that they seem to know. I want to say a lot of housewives, but it's more than that. People are running for positions and they're just coming out anti-GMO, and that's all they're really there for.
I found that to be true as well. Although I am against GMOs, I think that it would be good if we could work with Monsanto, and someone has suggested that some of the GMO corn could be used for fuel. I don't know enough about it, but I am doing some research on that. I do know that they have planted GMO corn in Lahaina behind that pie shop, the old pie shop there, between Uluwalo and Lahaina. And I happened to go to a party where there was somebody that worked for Monsanto, and I just happened to chat him up. And he told me, don't worry about it, we burnt all the corn. I go, well, what did you do with it? Well, we took the silk, and we're putting it into pharmaceuticals. That is a concern of mine. That means that medication that you may be taking could have GMO in it, and it's going to be considered inert. In other words, it won't have to be listed on the label because it's considered an inert object, and it's not inert. So some of this labeling that we're talking about, it needs to be done.
Wow, that's scary.
It is pretty scary,
It's
actually.
scary.
Yeah,
Depends where you look. The whole world is fighting Monsanto. We see commercials of them trying to show how much they give, and they may give, and they have jobs, and all the people working there, I'm sure, have really good hearts.
we do have
But
to.
it is clear they are demonized around the world, and some would say they take risks and chances at our expense.
They do. We have been actual guinea pigs, an unpaid guinea pig, and I don't really appreciate being an unpaid guinea pig. for as long as
I
they've
don't
been
even
here.
want to be a paid guinea pig.
He doesn't even want to be a paid guinea pig.
Yeah, but I mean,
That's
I
true.
think that, you know, I watch a lot of the politicians sitting in the seats. Oh, we want the people to vote. They don't want to open their mouth to tell you what they feel. And I think that it's crazy. And all the people that get money from Monsanto, I used to think, well, these companies that are being demonized, why not take their money? We can do something good. So, you know, I don't hold that against any of these candidates.
No, I
It's how
don't.
they vote that bothers me.
Yeah, no, if they want to take the money, I suppose. But I have been self-monetizing my own campaign, you know, meagerly, but it's going fine, and I'm happy to do it because I don't have anyone to be responsible to. I don't have anyone calling me up and telling me I have to vote a certain way or do anything that way, and I just want
I hope that this video goes to every household and that you guys share it around, because in the district here that you've got, if people will share it with their neighbors and friends, people will be able to see you. These forums don't offer really enough room for anyone to get up close and ask you a few questions. And, you know, if someone says, oh, I hear you're into anti-aging. Oh, there's one question. What a waste of a question. You didn't want to talk about that. You want to talk about some issues. So, as I see it, you are running because you feel you have experience that you can put to work while sitting in this seat and deliver for the people of Kihei, Wailea, and all of Hawaii.
And I do. And I think that our legislature is full of attorneys who have a whole different agenda, and we need more people in the medical industry. We need more people in real estate industry, other industries, so that it's more fair for everyone and not just set up as a special interest group for attorneys, excuse me. And that is another reason why.
Okay. If you have questions and you have things that you'd like to ask Marie, you have time to pick up the phone or email her. Do you have an email
I
address for
do
people?
have an email. It's Dr. Marie, Dr. Marie, M-A-R-I-E, 4 South, S-O-U-T-H, Maui, M-A-U-I, @gmail.com.
Okay.
Or you
You're
can
going
call
to see
me.
it on the screen. What's the phone number?
808-205-9059. And since I'm a workaholic, I'll usually answer it.
Well, I'm hoping that all of you take the time to look into this candidate. And it's funny, I've known you now a number of years in real estate and saw you working hard in the mortgage industry. And like I say, you were ferociously active in trying to help people. And I've always appreciated that about you.
Well, thank you very much.
And thank you for running. I know it
Thank you.
takes guts. People look and say, who is that person? And they scrutinize you. You know, but on scrutinization, is that a word?
That's a good word.
You look good.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me.
All right, and thank you for
you,
listening. Aloha.
Aloha.
Very, very close. Very,
Great.
very close.
We're going to take a little lunch break here at Rita's, and we're going to come back with some more questions in a minute.
Thank you so much.